Welcome back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome back to another 24/7 news report. The news today is obviously going to be clogged by the news that Bill Kenwright is staying on as Everton chairman for the foreseeable future, at least for the next season anyway. And yeah, that's our headline for today. Bill Kenwright is going to remain as Everton chairman. Majority shareholder Farhad Mashiri said, "I wanted Bill to remain as our chairman during this important period of transition for the club, and I am delighted that he's accepted my request to do so." So what I make of this is, it just feels like a completely wrong decision. The whole point for the protests last season was to get rid of all of them, not 3 out of 4. 3 out of 4 doesn't do it. Still having him at the top of the club, who's been there for all of that time during this complete period of mismanagement, to get rid of Sharp, Ingles and Barrett Baxendale, who, yes, we're part of that board, but Bill Kenwright was the big one who had to go. It also says that Farhad Mashiri has joined the Everton board as a non-executive director. Not too sure what that means, and if that means he's going to be less involved in the footballing side of things, which is a small positive. Hopefully we'll be hiring some more proper football people to take us into the new season and this transfer window. Chartered accountant John Spellman has also joined as a non-executive director. An appointment is subject to Premier League approval, but obviously they usually get handled within a couple of weeks. And Colin Chong, who we know from the stadium stuff, who was being the Chief Stadium Development Officer, has been appointed as Interim Chief Executive Officer and Director. So, yeah, I mean, from what I've seen, he's done pretty well on the stadium. I'm not too sure, I haven't followed that too much, but obviously if you go down there, the stadium is being built, which for Everton is surprising that something's been done like it has been said it would. So Colin Chong is now the Interim Chief Executive Officer and Director, and obviously he's currently the Chief Stadium Development Officer and has been focused on the delivery of the transformational new Everton Stadium at Brownlee Moor Dock. So someone who inside the club is being promoted there, unlike John Spellman, who I think has come from outside, as far as I know anyway. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of talk about this one. It's probably going to clog the news up now for this summer pretty much until we sign anyone. In my opinion, keeping Bill Kenwright, just complete wrong decision. Having him there as that sort of cloud hanging over everything else that gets run at the club is the reason we've ended up where we are, the reason why we are competing with the newly promoted teams for players, why we're trying to buy players from previously relegated teams. I think we were lucky to stay up as it was, but to keep Bill Kenwright on, it sort of in a way mirrors what was said when Mashiri came in about keeping Bill Kenwright on for that stability, and to be honest, we all know that worked out. So moving on to some transfer news anyway, a few decent little positive bits of transfer news today. Everton, West Ham and Luton Town all have an interest in signing FC Midtjylland midfielder Emiliano Martinez. Don't know anything about him, if I'm going to be honest with you. But yeah, he's someone who's on both Everton, West Ham and Luton's radar. That's from Rodri Vasquez 95, who, as I can see, is, I think, he's a Spanish news reporter. So yeah, but reading a couple of the comments there, being called up for Uruguay, so that's sort of a positive. People mentioning about how he's a relatively unknown talent, and that could fit not just our budget but our style a little bit more going into the future. And then moving on to Roman Favre as FC Lorient. Apparently FC Lorient are apparently going to lodge a €15 million bid for him from Lyon, but Everton, Crystal Palace and Fulham are all interested in the player. That's another one that we'll see. €15 million seems like an awful lot for Everton at this moment in time. So I wouldn't hold my breath on that one too much. But yeah, the news there is that Lyon want €15 million for him. Then moving on to Jack Harrison. He's one that's sort of gained a little bit of momentum in the past few weeks. Obviously relegated with Leeds United, been in the Premier League for quite a while now. Not young anymore. So yeah, it should be a go with this one. I think if any of the ones that I've seen in the past few days, I think this is probably the one that has got the most sort of a likelihood of it happening. And the plan is that Everton want to buy Jack Harrison from Leeds United for £16 million this summer. That's from a Football Insider on the Wide Man. Harrison is expected to leave Ellen Road after the relegation last season. There was also talk of Wilfred Gnonto as well, but I think Jack Harrison right now looks like the one that's more likely to happen. He's not the first Leeds man to have been linked with making the same move this summer, as I mentioned. According to the article, one other is Wilfred Gnonto. Tyler Adams, Crysencio Somerville and Joel Robles, former Everton player, all linked with the Toffees. So yeah, let me know what you think of Jack Harrison at Everton. How could he help us? And what it could be, how that could work. And then also we also have Everton shared sleeve partnership agreement with Boxed is set to end. That obviously started at the beginning of last season, I think. That is going to carry on. This is just what us at the Toffee Blues understand. The Toffees are yet to exercise the option of a further year. The club are hoping of seeking a more lucrative sleeve sponsorship for the new season. Of course, I think it's Everton's second sleeve shirt sponsorship. We've obviously had Angry Birds, now we've had Boxed Boilers for the past year. And I think it'll be something that we're going to be looking to capitalise on that a bit more. Obviously, more Premier League teams are moving that way with more lucrative sleeve sponsorships, and that's one that we'll be looking to dip our toes into as well. Also, with maybe a more lucrative brand where we can make a little bit more money and help sustain the club a little bit more better. But yeah, apparently the Boxed agreement with them for the shared sleeve partnership is not going to be getting renewed this summer. We're going to be looking for somebody else. So yeah, that's your Everton news for today. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you give it a like and subscribe to the Toffee Blues, and we'll see you in the next one.